This is the story knowing Jesus in a new way, known in the Holy Spirit. We are in the last Sunday of Eastertide, and even though it's not Pentecost, Pentecost is such an important time that I actually have 2 stories to share with you about it. But first, let's remember how Jesus was made known to Mary Magdalene and to Peter and John, how he was made known in the breaking of the bread. He was made known even in the doubt of Thomas. He was made known in the morning in the miraculous catching of fish. He's made known in the way that we make him known, telling others his story. Last week, we learned how he was made known in the waiting as we wait for the coming of the Holy Spirit. It was finally the season of Pentecost. The grass had grown green, the crops were blooming, and people from all over the Roman Empire had gathered in Jerusalem to celebrate one of the important days of the church. It was the 50 days between the Passover and when God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. The disciples were also gathered in their room. Some people say the same room where Jesus gave them the Last Supper. And as they were praying, something amazing happened. They heard a loud wind, and then there were little flames of fire above each of their heads. It even felt like their tongues were on fire. They were so joyful that they went outside to tell everyone what they were experiencing. But some people said that they were crazy. They said they've had too much wine. But then Peter emerged in the chaos with a calm and confidence that the disciples had never seen before. He said, "We have not had too much wine. After all, it's just the morning." But this is what the prophet Joel prophesied about. He said that God would pour out God's Spirit and that the young women and men would prophesy, that the young would have visions and the old would dream dreams. This is what is happening among you. And whatever the disciples said, people could understand it in their own languages, no matter what language they spoke. I imagine that somewhere the dove that came down when Jesus was baptized was smiling at this, because this was not a baptism of water. It was a baptism of the Holy Spirit and fire. And that is why the color of Pentecost is red, because it's the color of fire and of great joy. Now, I wonder if there's anything in your house or in this room that reminds you of this story. For me, I remembered our prophet story because Peter reminded us that the prophet Joel prophesied that this event would happen. I also thought about our Faces of Easter story because we remember how the Holy Spirit also came down on Jesus when he was baptized. I also thought about how Peter showed great leadership in this situation and how Jesus had told him to shepherd his people, just like the Good Shepherd in our story. Maybe for your work today, you can make a Pentecost headband to get ready for Pentecost next week. The elements for this are in your craft packet, or you could make it yourself. All you need is red, yellow, and orange paper. You can put it on your head and maybe record a video of you saying, "Happy birthday, church," because this is the birthday of the church as we know it.